Since ancient times, human beings have sought to alter their state of consciousness. In caves, rituals, temples, or celebrations, the need to escape or perhaps to connect with something greater has always been present. Among all the substances used for this purpose, one has stood out in particular for being legal, socially accepted, and celebrated in many cultures: alcohol. But have we ever truly asked ourselves what impact alcohol has beyond the body and mind? Could it also be affecting the soul? The Greek philosopher Plato once said, "The body is the prison of the soul." And if that's true, what happens when we add substances that reinforce that prison? Could alcohol be more than just an escape? Could it be a veil that separates us from our spiritual essence? Today, I want to invite you to explore this possibility from a different perspective, not to judge, but to understand. Few people know that the word alcohol comes from the Arabic al-kul, which originally referred to a fine powder used by alchemists to dissolve matter. Interestingly, it was also called the spirit devourer. Sounds symbolic, doesn't it? In alchemy, to dissolve was not just a physical process. It also meant the fragmentation of the self. So we could say that alcohol, beyond intoxication, separates. It divides us from our center, from our deep connection to who we really are. The Sufi mystic Al-Ghazali warned that anything that clouds consciousness interrupts the flow between the soul and the divine. And this warning is not unique. In Buddhism, the use of intoxicants is prohibited to maintain mental clarity. In Hinduism, alcohol is said to block the awakening of Kundalini energy. And in many Western esoteric traditions, such as Hermeticism and Gnosticism, it is seen as an obstacle to inner work. So, is it just a coincidence that so many traditions warned about the same thing? Or does alcohol truly have a deeper impact we fail to recognize? Today, even modern science is beginning to show some interest in this field. Biophotonic research has revealed that human cells emit light. Yes, actual light. These light flashes are called biophotons, and they are connected to our state of health, awareness, and internal balance. Did you know that when you drink alcohol, this light emission decreases? The liver, seen in Taoist medicine as a key center of energetic transmutation, becomes saturated under the influence of alcohol. And this doesn't just affect the body. From an energetic perspective, the aura weakens, the third eye chakra loses clarity, the solar plexus chakra, our center of personal power, becomes destabilized, and the throat chakra, linked to authenticity, and inner voice becomes distorted. It is even said that during drunkenness, the astral body becomes more vulnerable. Some shamanic traditions warn that this state may attract dense influences or entities from the lower astral plane. Though it may sound fantastical, Carl Jung might describe it as dark archetypes rising from the collective unconscious. And here comes an uncomfortable question. Are you just having a drink, or are you actually opening a door? When alcohol consumption becomes a habit, many mystical traditions speak of a potential soul fragmentation, a disconnection between our deepest parts. Transpersonal psychology describes it as a form of dissociation, a defense mechanism that disconnects us from ourselves to avoid pain. The result? Emptiness, repetition, and loss of meaning. It's as if the thread connecting us to our higher self has been cut, and we become trapped in a cycle of suffering that Buddhism calls samsara, an endless loop where we forget who we are and why we are here. Everything in the universe vibrates. This is affirmed by both ancient sages and modern quantum physics. We are energy in motion, resonating with the world around us. When we consume alcohol, our frequency shifts. We become more susceptible to dense emotions, sadness, anger, and confusion. Have you ever felt worse after a night of drinking, even if you laughed the entire time? Energetically, that's no coincidence. It's resonance. And according to the law of attraction, we attract what we vibrate. This doesn't mean we have to live in a bubble of perfection, but it does invite us to ask, does what I consume lift me up or shut me down? The good news is we can always return, restore, reintegrate, and that path doesn't begin with stop drinking. It begins with reconnecting to your essence. Many traditions speak of the alchemy of the soul, inner processes that transform us from within. Some of these include conscious fasting, which cleanses not just the body, but trapped emotions as well. Practiced during Ramadan, Lent, and in Tantric. Yoga, salt and herbal baths, which help discharge accumulated energy and restore the auric field. Meditation and silence, to listen to the soul's voice. Creative visualization, like a column of golden light connecting you to the heavens. Reordering your energetic system. And perhaps the most powerful and most difficult for society, forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, letting go. Because many addictions are just symptoms of unhealed wounds. In the end, freedom is not doing whatever you want. It's consciously choosing what elevates you. This isn't about demonizing alcohol. It's about looking at it with honesty. Are we using it to celebrate or to escape? Every decision we make brings us either closer or further away from our light. And perhaps the first step towards spiritual awakening is not about changing the world, but changing the vibration from which we live in it. Remember, it's not about quitting alcohol. It's about coming home to your light. And that begins with one simple choice. Choose consciousness. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep exploring topics that expand our awareness. Your support is what keeps this community alive. Today, I invite you to take one small conscious action, maybe a moment of silence, a deep breath, or simply noticing how you feel without judgment, and share with me in the comments. What did this video make you reflect on? Have you ever felt that inner disconnection we talked about? I'll be reading you with care. See you on the next journey, dear listener.